Greetings. Let me take care of some technical issues here, and we will be ready to go. Let's see, one moment. Issues here. See, echoes. We got echoes. Let's see. Let's get rid of these. All right. Let's see. I think we took care of all of these echoes. I am on multiple platforms, family. Thank you for your patience. All right. So, this is story time with Miss Bliss, and I am Miss Bliss. So, I am trying something different, as you could see, where I'm going to show you photos of the people in the story. So hopefully this will kind of get you excited about the story and maybe entertained a little bit more while we're in this process. We'll see how it goes. This is my first time doing this, so we will see. We want to greetings. Who's this? How are you, Miss Tate? Greetings. Welcome. Peace, love is light beings, peace and blessings. How are you? And I hope this isn't about the crazy couple. Our community need to do better. Yeah, I agree with you. Unfortunately, we can't control everyone. And so, you know, it is what it is. We gotta move on, right? Nothing we can do about. We can't control how people act in our community and what they choose to do or not do or anything like that. So, yeah. Exactly. So the Earth Angel story is done. There's no more to that. Um, I could give you guys closure if you'd like. She, as you know, she's working with the angels, and they were able to protect her egg. I don't know if you guys know what an egg is. An egg is something that is around your body. It's not something that you could see. It's not it's sort of like an energetic egg. Um, and so they prepared like a weaving item. It sort of looked like a web, like a cob web or something, and that is to protect her aura and her essence, because this guy is clearly yeah, a little crazy. Good evening, Goddess London Blues. How are you? Good evening. Yes, women have eggs, but this type of egg is an egg. Nope, you never heard of it. Okay, so this type of egg is an egg that's over your whole body. It's sort of like an energetic egg that is seeing. Most spiritual people can see it and work with it. So the angels prepared like a web, and they put it over this egg to protect her from this guy, so that she would be well. So we're going to start this beautiful story here. Oh, wait, I want to do some, let's get a little bit of advertisement here. I do have some things to put on here for you guys. What do we have here? So, we have an event in Harlem in New York City. It's a health event, Health Matters. It will be on April 28th, and it's at 107 West 130th Street in Harlem. Oh, and it is free. It ain't gonna cost you nothing like but some freebies out here, because we love something. We ain't got to pay for no money. So there you go. What else do we have? We have an event in Philadelphia. This is a business Expo. It's on April 17th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. It's in the Watermaker building. I've attended these type of expos before. It's where if you want to create your business, own your business, manage your business, get business loans, partnerships with other people. It's just a place where you could receive like a lot of opportunities in regards to like business. You can learn about businesses too. I definitely recommend it, and I recommend that you guys check it out if you're interested in business. So let's get on with the promotions. My girl Tanisha.
When you smile, I'm enchanted. When you kiss me, I can't stand it. I'm in paradise. Your touch is just like satin. Girl, you make my whole life happen. When I look into your eyes.
Wait a minute, hold on. That seems like a love song right next to these guys. So you know what? That was done by accident. Hold on. Let me see. Let me see if I can do something. Hold on.
Oh, it's been such a long, long time.
That is the perfect song for these two guys. Okay. So let's start our story here about these two. Oh, wait. I wanted to go over real quick with you guys some things that happened during the solar eclipse. So I got a couple of phone calls. On April 8th, the solar eclipse, I got a phone call from a young lady who went to a big party, like a big rave party. I don't know if you guys know about those type of parties. Usually you don't find a lot of Black people there. You find other cultures there. And this space was hundreds of people, and it was about 10 acres. They have like this big piece of land. It's music playing, it's food. You can camp out there, you can hang out there. And usually, I'd say over 99% of the time, there's some type of thing that would influence your the way you act. So it'd be like alcohol, mushrooms, acid, marijuana, other psychedelics, changa, bufo, if you know about those type of psychedelics. There'll be people there who'll be under multiple influences. So no one's cognitive when they're at these events because they're all under some type of influence, of something. So no one's really aware of what they're doing as far as I could see, from what I know. So in any event, she goes to this rave, and there's an area where the men are just dancing wildly. Like it's just mostly men in that area, and it's no really rhyme or reason as to way that they're dancing. They're swinging their arms, they're swinging their bodies. One guy is doing roundhouse kicks, and it's just wild. The music is going in. You wouldn't as a woman want to go in that area, but since everybody was high and she was high, she walked in that area, and then out of nowhere, right in her face, a guy hits her, busted up all of her nose, her mouth, that whole area. And I asked her, I said, well, did he come straight to face and punch you in the face? Was he dancing and the back of his hand hit you? He didn't see you were behind him. Was it the roundhouse kick guy who kicked you in the face? She did not know. She had no recollection as to which one of them hit her in the face, because this is a form of dancing and everyone is high. So no one can be held like accountable. So I was like, oh my goodness, I'm so glad, because I got invited to that. And I was like, no, thank you. I'm not going out there. The second woman called. She went to another gathering. I don't know if I could say it was like a rave or anything like that, but it was on like 105 acres. So it's really, really, really big. But she was taking psychedelics and she got lost for practically the whole weekend. So for practically 2 days, she's wandering looking for her spot, her camping spot. And I was like, of all days to be out here wandering on an eclipse. There was a couple that called me on the eclipse, and they did a ritual. And I don't know if everyone heard. Most of the spiritual practitioners said, do not do any rituals on the eclipse. That it's very powerful. It's also very dangerous, and it's not going to be a good idea, and it won't work for you. Well, in any event, this couple did the ritual, and they ended up getting into a fight where you just heard like a lot of noise. People were complaining, and you heard like a big smash, like boom, and you suddenly hear her screaming, I'm bleeding, I'm bleeding, I'm bleeding. Apparently she ran towards him and he flipped her up and tossed her on the floor. I'm like, what is going on with our people? I don't know. I don't know. Well, that's all I have for the eclipse story. So there you go. This is going to be a wonderful story that we're moving on to, the Shaman Brothers. Um, it's not going to be a long story, but it's going to be a beautiful story. Because after this, I'm going to see the movie called The Monkey Man, which my friend wants to go see. I don't know what this movie's all about, but I am willing to go check out to see what Monkey Man is all about. Peace and blessings, Cynthia. How are you? Peace, peace. You just the time. You just the time. We are about to start this story about these two brothers. Um, I call them the Shaman Brothers. That's not their real name, but that's a name that I gave them. And I'm not giving their original name either. Unless anyone, when I tell a story, if anyone gives me permission, then obviously I will say the name if that's what they choose for me to do. So these brothers, they serve psychedelic medicines to anyone who's willing to receive them, anyone who's willing to heal. These photos are not their real photos. They're just photos that I chose that I just thought it might be nice to add a little bit of sexiness to the story. Granted, one of them is very close to the way that one of these guys look, and I'm going to tell you which one it is. I'll just let your imagination flow with you and let it flow and just flow and flow and flow. So the name that I gave to these brothers was Izzy and Busy. So Izzy is the dark-skinned brother on the left-hand side, okay? And Busy is the other brother, the light-skinned one, on the right-hand side. Now, the older brother is Izzy, the dark-skinned one, and the younger brother is Busy, the light-skinned one. Now, I will first start off talking about our brother here, Izzy, the older brother. This is the one that I know and I connect with. I never really knew the younger brother. So I'll tell you a little bit about Izzy. Izzy, he's serving the medicine and opening portals. He's saying prayers to the earth, fire, wind, and water. A lot of ceremonies operate this way. He has a great physique, he communicates well, he's a healer, he loves women, and he loves children. His brother, his brother's name is Busy. Busy is a fire keeper. He watches and maintains the fire, looks for symbols and spirits within the fire, sings spiritual songs. Now, I don't know Busy that well, but he seems to be like a pretty nice guy. Busy has a girlfriend. Although he's a bit flirtatious, he appears to still be loyal. He's very hardworking at the ceremony, in my observation, at least, he seemed to be a hardworking brother. Firekeepers and ceremonies are not an easy job to have. So he's making sure that everyone is okay at the ceremony. He's helping us with our breathing through the medicine. He's helping us with our visions. He's singing the song in his beautiful voice. Is a voice like an angel. And while he's doing all of this, he's also managing the fire. Mhm. Now, I did attend a ceremony with the older brother years ago. I attended his ceremonies years ago, and I stayed in touch with him. At that time, he was doing ceremonies alone. It wasn't his brother. That's why I never met his brother. So, Izzy, he's very talented and has advanced psychic abilities. He's what you would call a seer. He's guided many and taught many how to handle certain situations in the spirit realm. Some of us have spiritual abilities that activate as a child and don't remember, or it's blocked, or you pray that it go away, or your parents convince you that it never really actually existed. It's not like we were in a surrounding where we were like Harry Potter or Alice in Wonderland or the Wizard of Oz. You know, we live here in this world where they say everything is reality and what they tell us is reality. So our reality is not magic. Our reality is go to school, get a job, don't dream, don't take herbs to heal, don't take psychedelics, don't study Tantra. And you damn sure better not believe in no spirits, ghosts, monsters. Those are all evil. Yet they tell us fairy tales about Sleeping Beauty, Snow White, Beauty and the Beast. However, within the same light, telling us that what we are experiencing as children isn't real. The subliminal messages in these movies don't have characters that look like us. And slowly but surely, they kill our magic from childhood all the way up to adulthood. No crystals in the house to play with, no teachings or education about which herbs to take to heal your sickness, no meditation, no sound healing guidance, no yoga, no qigong, no lessons on how to communicate with the birds, the animals, the earth, the plants, the water, all of which are alive and we can actually communicate with them. And let's be honest, most of our parents didn't know better. This was passed on to them, and so on, and so on, and so on. And we can go back hundreds of years and gradually see our spiritual gifts disappear as we have more of a desire to be included in this so called wonderful society here in America. More and more time spent at work, school, parties, meetings, spending our energy and our time and our essence around the wrong people, around the wrong settings, using the wrong words, holding negative energy. Useless conversations swing us into depression, sadness, anxiety, fear, stress, and worry until eventually we become engulfed in the world that is not ours, a world where we don't feel like we belong and we don't fit in. So, my brother Izzy here, he called me and he was like, I'm doing the work, sis. I'm out here healing the brothers and the sisters. And I got to tell you something. It's something special going out here, and I want you to know about it. And so, Izzy and all the brothers and sisters in the community, they're helping, and I support them. I got love for them. Each one teach one, and they're doing the work. So Izzy calls me to get my opinion. His ceremonies are different now, they're changing. The dynamics of the ceremony is changing, not by something that he requested, not by his will. It's just something going on, and he's not exactly sure what. What's happening is that more and more women are coming to his ceremonies. It used to be maybe an equal amount of men, women. Maybe sometimes he'll have a lot more men. Maybe at times he'll have a lot more women. But it's like almost every ceremony over the past couple of months, it's mostly women. And he's not exactly sure what's going on. I did say that it's probably that feminine energy that's coming through, that feminine energy that everyone's talking about, that's so powerful, that's so healing. And maybe these women are looking for healing or guidance. And maybe you're the person that's there to do it. I mean, by all means, what better place to come to get healing than to a brother like you, right? So Izzy began to explain further. He's used to many of women attending his ceremonies. He's seen many different races, colors, creeds, shapes, heights. He's seen them all. However, his concern is that they appear to be coming to his ceremonies only to have orgasms, to experience pleasure. They're looking for joy, they're seeking happiness. And this was never a goal that he set. He simply just wanted to heal people. So, more and more women pour into his ceremonies. However, upon arrival, Izzy did admit that in the beginning, the women appeared to be bitter, mean, angry, jealous, cold, and at times miserable, hateful, lonely, even homicidal, damn near suicidal. Some were homeless. Some were complaining they can't get pregnant. Some of them were married, and some of them were single. Some of them hated their relationships, hated their boyfriends, hated their husbands, was disgusted with their lives, didn't want to go to work anymore, just all out miserable. So it seems like, at least this is what I told Izzy, it seems like they just wanted to release, to just go, to be at peace within, and to have bliss. And because these women were so negative, they had a pessimistic look on life, toxic, harmful thoughts, they couldn't reach orgasmic bliss alone or with their lovers. So no matter what they did, they couldn't reach bliss. Somehow, some way, his ceremonies changed to an experience like no other. He didn't plan this. He didn't do it on purpose. He didn't set a goal to accomplish this. It seemed to be a hidden gift that recently activated. This was a natural dynamic where he could call on feminine energy to activate from within him and transfer it to activate within the women via his ceremonies. The ceremonies got so big that he called his brother to assist. And that is when his brother, busy. And I call him busy because he's busy keeping the fire. So both him and Busy now do the ceremonies. Busy would be the firekeeper, making sure the fire didn't go out of control, making sure it stayed lit, observing the fire to see if it revealed spirit energy. He would also make sure the women were good, checking to see if they needed water, seeing if they were okay, if they were too hot, if they were too cold, if they needed a blanket, walking them to the bathroom if they needed that, and making sure they got there safely. Showing the women how to breathe thoroughly through the medicine and how to relax and to let the medicine work through and accept whatever was happening and accept whatever they were feeling. So, these are just the basic things that a shaman or a medicine server does. However, when you have people who are serving you with love, the energy is different. But Izzy, back to Izzy now. Izzy noticed approximately 30 minutes after serving the medicine that the women would act different. They would begin moaning and groaning, dirty talk, sexy talk. They were working their energy up to orgasm, getting excited, feeling euphoric, floating in ecstasy, feeling beautiful, youthful, and energetic. A positive feeling of wanting to live, love, and be happy, wanting to be with their husbands and boyfriends. The single women, of course, usually after the ceremony was over, would want to be with either Izzy or Busy, but they're not exactly trying to go that route. So they would contain themselves and just, most of the time, they would wish them well. Occasionally, Izzy would stray. Busy has a girlfriend, so he more or less is dedicated to her. So Izzy said to me, "You must travel to see me and see for yourself." So I went down there and I attended his ceremony. And that's when I met his brother for the first time. I inquired about the medicine he was serving. Did he change the dosage? Was it a different medicine? Did he mix medicines together? Did he switch the location of the ceremony? We were trying to figure out exactly what happened. Did he change the ceremony in any way or any format, anyhow, any slight change to bring on the women that he was bringing on? We couldn't figure it out. So on I went to visit him and to see what this ceremony was about and exactly what exactly was going on with these people here at this ceremony, in particular, the women. So on Saturday, I arrived and they are preparing at this area where it's a few feet from the ocean beach, and then further in, it's sort of like trees, I guess you could say. Not like woods, but not like a forest, but it's enough trees there. So we everyone's laying out. They have their covers and they're sitting up and ready to participate. So on Saturday, he prepares the location and the people begin to arrive. He was right. About 25 women showed up, and I think I only saw two men. So, and I'm not really sure why, but that's just the way it was when I was there. Maybe it could be five women and one man. But he said the numbers of women has always outpaced the men over the past couple of months. So Izzy began to say the prayers and serve the medicine. His brother started the fire. I took the medicine and waited to see what would happen. Suddenly, I felt really cold, and the fire began to look like something other than a fire. Izzy was opening portals. And this is a beautiful thing to see if you're not afraid of witnessing it. being at a ceremony where someone has the ability and the power to actually open up portals is a wonderful thing to see. So his brother was starting the fire. Izzy was serving the medicine. Busy was starting the fire. And I was feeling chilly and cold. His brother began to sing, and he had this beautiful, beautiful voice as he was singing. Busy. Mhm. Busy was singing. It was a voice that was pleasing to the ears. His angelic voice sprung out divine words of beauty. His tone was gentle, yet hitting a feeling of protection. Hmm. Busy. Busy the fire keeper. Beautiful, beautiful voice. Busy gathers the wood for the fire. He's chopping it up and he's placing it where it needs to be. He's preparing it. He looked like a Boy Scout, starting the fire like a native indigenous person. The fire was roaring like a beast. Busy squatted down and began looking at the fire from different angles. And then he shook his head and he looked at his brother and he said, "It is ready." I could feel the heat of the fire and it was moving rapidly. Busy looked at me and smiled and winked his eye. I could tell that he was proud of his work. And I said, okay, let the magic begin. You knew that you were safe. There was a sense of security. You believed every word of the song that Busy was singing. There was no need for an instrument, for his voice was enchanting, so hypnotizing, so heavenly that it began to carry the women into bliss. He captivated the sweet, mesmerizing, orgasmic energy with his sound into the air, into the ether as he spread all around us, changing our energy, keeping us calm, keeping us pleased and happy, and very, very entertaining. So now the fire is ready, and we move on to the next step where Izzy. Izzy, now that the fire is ready, Izzy will serve the medicine. Each of us took the medicine, which activated within about, I'd say maybe a half an hour to maybe 45 minutes. And not everybody receives the medicine at the same time in activation because we're all on different frequencies and we're all doing different things in our lives and we have so much different things going on. So half an hour, 45 minutes, maybe there was a person who it even took an hour to activate. So Izzy began to pray over the women and he blessed them. Next, Izzy began opening portals. This is not a ceremony for everyone. Opening portals is serious work. He did an air prayer, activating the air element, calling upon the air to move and the wind to blow. It was more like a breeze. He asked the air to brush over the women in the places they needed healing, requesting air to go inside the women and motivate their healing, asking air to be gentle with the women. The breeze, mm, mm, mm. The breeze was arousing like a soft, gentle touch to the body. Next, Izzy moved on to the next element. Activating the next element was earth. And so he began to call upon the elements of the earth and do all of the rituals that was required. This is Earth. He did another special prayer to activate the Earth, and I could feel the ground underneath me electrifying. I could feel it moving and activating and vibrating. He was speaking to the trees, and it appeared to be that they spoke back. It appeared to be clear communication going on. What an interesting observation to see. Someone communicating with the earth, the plants, the trees, and everything on the ground, including the rocks. Communicating with the flowers, and he convinced them to release the most beautiful aroma. Then he dug his feet in the dirt and grounded, and the vibration got higher. This vibration alone was orgasmic. I can see why so many were here in attendance. He waved his arms, and the air and earth seemed to move in unison. What a beautiful sight. The air and the earth moving in unison. It was like he was some type of avatar working some type of magic that I'd never seen before, that I've never known about. By this time, the women began to moan. Mm, more moaning. Some of them, it was like a sigh of relief. The oohs and the ahs and the moaning began to come more and more frequent. I looked around. I had to stay attentive and make sure I was able to take notes, but it was so difficult with all of the moaning and groaning and the movements. I looked around to see what was going on and what were the women doing. I could see their bodies moving, opening and closing, hips turning in a circular motion, hands rubbing up and down their thighs, up their torso, around, up along the back of their head, down their neck, taking out their hair, letting their hair down. As their heads rolled around, some of them were in the seat and they tippy toe, put their ball on their feet on the tippy tips as they were moving around and circulating their body and feeling the energy. And so the ceremony continued. Both of the brothers at this time always remained respectful. They both held space for the women. They knew that this was something women needed. You see, a woman cannot come to orgasm if she feels unsafe, if she feels uncomfortable, unable to do anything herself. She needs to know that the environment is safe from someone who will take advantage of her or abuse her or use her. She needs to feel love. She needs to feel wanted. Izzy knew that this was allowing women to get into their feminine energy. Women can receive this lovely energy with no stipulation and no manipulation. The value that he brings to the community is priceless. All men should want women to feel so safe, so relaxed, secure, and loved in order for them to get into their feminine energy. He knows that women are medicine that heals men, which allows men to step in to their femininity. So the women are actually a form of medicine. And when women are healed, they therefore heal the men that are around them and allow them to become even more masculine. Too many men today are feminine. I'm talking about men who claim to be straight masculine, but gossip like women about women, gossip like women even about men. And that is actually a feminine trait. So these women could feel the masculinity in both of these brothers. They could feel it in Izzy, within his presence, within his aura, within his essence. They could certainly feel it in Busy as he tended the fire. They had their shirts off. You could see their muscles moving. You could see his muscles moving as he had the stick and he had to adjust the bricks, the logs, the wood. He had to lift them up, throw them in. And it's kind of a dirty job, but it just seemed to be so sensual to look at. These women were not having regular orgasms. These were some type of angelic spasms that climaxed and recycled again and again and again throughout the women's bodies. They were giddy with delight and intoxicated with the smell and experience of paradise. They were in heaven, in paradise. I could hear panting and heavy breathing. Suddenly, the melodious sound of many women breathing and gasping, whispering words of pleasure as they went into bliss. So we move on to the next element because clearly these women are activated. Hey, Pet Jeremy, how are you? I'm telling a story. So, Izzy, our brother Izzy, is now about to activate the next element. And the next element is fire. Mm, fire. So, we have already air, we have already earth, and now we're moving into fire. Y'all know what that means. When it's fire, that means we about to bring the heat up in this place. We about to burn the house down. The roof, the roof, the roof is on fire. We don't need no water. Let the burn. I don't know if y'all know that song, but it's not like I was in a club, y'all. Is it sexy? I love this story. They're divine brothers. It's an honor for these brothers that women feel that safe around them. Exactly. I'm going to be honest with you. I've been to quite a few ceremonies, and a lot of times you simply don't feel this safe. I'm going to be honest with you. You know, I'm not going to lie. It speaks of a lot of their character. Exactly. Exactly. So I've been around people who have done ceremonies and it was not good, both men and women. And then, the certain communities who knew this was going on wouldn't tell anyone, wouldn't give them a heads up, wouldn't give them a warning. And it's not so much as giving the customer or the client who's going there for the healing the warning. To me, it's more of, why haven't you pulled this person's coattail and kind of said, okay, well, this is inappropriate. This is making people feel uncomfortable. This is not good for the reputation of the Black community. because when I go to other ceremonies with people that don't look like us, in all honesty, it is different. But the ones I go to, it's more like Spanish people. Occasionally, you may see somebody who's white or Indian show up, but it's mostly Spanish. And the difference between these two communities is huge. It's just huge. And so I keep telling y'all, I keep going around these other communities, and they all this madness that we got going on in these black communities, this so-called that community that y'all in. I'm in the healer community. I think y'all know what community I'm talking about. It is a lot of chaos and mayhem. It's just a lot of chaos and mayhem. People are not operating with integrity. People are not operating with honesty. People, their morals and values are not in alignment. And, it's just an unhealthy way to be amongst a group of people who are interested in learning and healing. So that's just my thoughts. Now, back on to the story. My brother Izzy here. Get ready to open up the portals of fire. Hmm? Get ready to bring the heat. So we in fire. He moved closer to the fire that his brother prepared. He said another prayer. This one was dedicated to the fire. He pulled something out of a brown sack. It was like a material sack, like a cloth sack. And then he tossed it into the fire. The fire rose so high that I had to tilt my head up in excitement. It almost had the shape of a human, moving constantly in motion. Suddenly, it got hotter and hotter. The women began to peel off their blouses and their shirts. We started sweating in there. It was just simply too hot for clothes. And this was certainly a safe space with two very respectable brothers. Thank you, Pet Jeremy. Thank you. And so the women felt comfortable taking off their blouses and their jackets and their shirts so they can get more relaxed, and get more into the feeling of what was going on and more into feeling the energy of what they were experiencing. So we over there, we're sweating and it's hot and it's too hot for clothes. And this is a safe space. The fire was hypnotizing to look at. He asked the women to say something. And I've heard this saying many, many, many times. So I knew what it meant and I was down for it. So if you've heard this before, then you know what I'm talking about. He began to tell them the words and he asked, repeat after me. If it doesn't serve you, burn it all away, away, away. If it doesn't serve you, burn it all away, away, away. If it doesn't serve you, burn it all away, away, away. If it doesn't serve you, burn it all away. And they began chanting and chanting and chanting until the women were able to release any type of negativity and anxiety and fear and destroy anything, any type of child trauma. Just throw it into the fire and let the fire deal with it and let it burn it down and take it away for you. Let the fire handle this for you. You can sit back and relax and be in your feminine energy. They got this. They got you. Don't worry about this. We got your back, they said. Mm-mm-mm-mm. After that, suddenly the women's voices were like a harmonious music to the ears. It had its own rhythm. You could sort of grind and move to it if you wanted to. It was a universal sound of earthly orgasms. I couldn't believe what I was experiencing. But then again, Y'all probably heard through the grapevine. Damn near every ceremony, all the medicine I take, it's always something amazing happening. I think I look for amazement, and I think amazement always finds me. So I embrace it. The level of sexiness, the level of intimacy at this ceremony was beyond describable. A sense of freedom while feeling covered and sheltered and cherished. I felt the need to move my body and part my lips. Ooh, Miss Bliss, getting it on. I was trying to contain myself because I'm obviously there as an observer, but your girl got to have a little bit of fun, so forgive me. I was taking mental notes though. I began to arch my back and lick my lips and roll my neck and touch my thighs as I felt the energy. I was feeling seduced, lured into an erotic feeling of sensuous, steamy sexiness. Oh, I was trying to maintain my composure, holding back, focusing on something else, avoiding going into my glory, dodging the orgasms, dodging the orgasmic wave. Another wave is coming, and the voices, the screams, the ecstasy. Another wave, dodging those waves, trying to stay focused. Oh God, here it comes again. There were waves of hot, arousing energy that was unavoidable. Oh God, guys, I struggle to maintain. I struggle to maintain. The next element, of course, was water. Mm. The soothing, blissful, orgasmic energy of water. Mm. Izzy did another special prayer to activate the water. He asked the water to cleanse us, to clear our energy. He asked the water to baptize us and to protect us. He requested that the water assist us with our feminine energy, our sexiness, our sexual confidence. He had a bucket of water from the beach that was a few feet away. He began sprinkling and pouring water on us. Ooh, it was so refreshing due to the heat. This is perfect timing. He asked the water to wash away any demons, any negative behaviors, any doubt that we had within us, any anxiety, any fear, any struggle with addiction. Just wash it all away and baptize us. Wash it away and let the ocean take away those burdens and those childhood traumas and that stress for us. Let the ocean take it away for us. At this point, everyone was in the height of their ecstasy. And finally, one of the women burst with the sounds of flawless fulfillment and the exquisite release of sexual energy. Ah! She obviously was the dominant. It sets the rest of the women off into a frenzy. It was like a chorus, an opera, a harmonious melody of oneness. You see, in Tantra, the dominant woman gives permission to the other women to release. She lets the other women know that it's okay to do what is necessary for you to go into bliss. Handle your business to have this orgasm, miss. Meanwhile, I was still holding y'all. I was determined not to release. I was holding my seed. God, it was difficult. Now I know why semen retention is so difficult for men. Semen retention is, man, I can relate. Well, in any event, the ceremony is over, and the women are all very, very happy and appreciative and grateful to these brothers. They are overjoyed with the results. Some of the women, they simply couldn't believe what they experienced. It was just so much joy, so much pleasure that they had, that they experienced. Some of them couldn't wait to go home to their husbands, to their man, to their boyfriends. Those that were single, of course, they tried to hit on Izzy or Busy. So, as everyone was leaving and gathering, I asked Izzy, because I know Busy has a woman and he's dedicated and committed. But I asked Izzy, I said, are you interested in any of these women? You see so many women all the time and you're single. His response was he would be happy to please any of the women with no strings attached, of course. But you know how that goes. People say no strings attached. Next thing you know, they're all over you and they don't want to go home. So I said, was there anyone in particular you had in mind, Izzy? Anyone you had your eyes on? Anyone that you desire? Anyone that you truly were attracted to? I mean, you're around all of this temptation. You must want something, somehow, some way. Your brother, what's going on? You need Miss Bliss to introduce you to somebody, hook you up or something. His response was, I have my eyes set on one woman. She's the only one I dream about. She's the only one I want to be with. She's the beauty that tames my beast. She's the reason I work so hard. She is part of my legacy. She is my past, my present, and my future. She's the love of my life, and I do this so that every woman can find a relationship like ours. And so Izzy was kind of how would you say, sort of like a man who used to be not so good of a man with the woman, and he learned how to be a better quality man. And the woman that he's talking about, she had to leave him. She had to cut him off. She had to set boundaries. She had to say, this is the type of man that I need you to be this way, or we're not going to be together at all. And if you cannot be the man that I need you to be, then we're not going to be together. She knew exactly what she wanted. There was no question in her mind. And if he could not do that, then she said, you can go on about your business. No qualms or quarrels about it. And he loved her. And so he said, I am not sleeping with any other woman. She's the one that I want to be with. And I know that she is the one that I'm meant to be with. And that's that. And so all these women all around him, tempting him, flirting with him. And I mean, breasts popping out and, releasing and orgasmic sounds. And he's maintaining steady. He holding it, y'all. He holding it. I was like, damn, what's this girl put on you? She got you mesmerized with the cootie cat. Well, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, that is the end of my story Your girl is gonna go see the movie Monkey Man and have dinner at an Indian restaurant. I hope you guys enjoyed this story. I wanted to give you something more lighter, more entertaining, as opposed to, you know, all of that other chaos and drama that we usually have, that we are usually around. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of arousal and sexiness and a little bit of bliss. We all deserve a little bit of bliss, a little bit of orgasmic energy. I appreciate you too. I appreciate you too. Thank you. Thank you guys. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I wish there were more people out here that not just like these brothers, but just like I see women that are like this too, right? But I just wish there were more of both women and men who were like this, holding space, maintaining the light, holding it down, just loving each other, nurturing each other, caring about each other. And unfortunately, from my experience in this community, we don't have enough people like this. So I wanted to just do this so that you guys can go and have orgasm this weekend and experience some type of bliss. So, good night, you guys. Have a beautiful weekend, and I will see you next time. Mwah! I love you guys. Peace.